Hi everybody, I'm Christian from Trace5 and I have a guest with me today.
Hi, I'm Kevin from Düsseldorf, Germany.
And today we have another deck unboxing. This one is going to be, well, not an unboxing, it was unboxed and used many times already before. So this is a very special deck. This is a deck that we brought with us. This deck won the preview event in Essen, Germany. This was the first preview event here in Germany. So this is a very special deck, and a lot of people, I think, are really excited about, or really eager to see which cards or which kind of decks are successful in events. So we're going to go through this deck with Kevin, and Kevin will explain to us what kind of cards are in this deck and what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right, let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to start right away, and then later we can maybe discuss what the strategy is. Okay, so the first card we have, maybe we would also have to say this is Shadows, Untamed, and Logos. So strong, very aggressive factions, I would say. The first card we have here is an action. It's Fogify. It gives you 1 Ember, and it does if your opponent cannot use creatures to fight on their your opponent cannot use creatures to fight on the next turn.
Yeah. It was a very useful card when I played versus Sanctum and Brobner, for example.
Yeah,
I had some. I had some weak creatures on the board, and I wanted to reap and. With the powerful creatures of Brobner or Sanctum, I wanted to prevent the kill of my creatures.
Yeah, it seems like a really good card to kind of keep a really strong creature heavy deck in check, right? Like to prevent them from destroying their board state. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, we have to also say Sonic Bilgewater Corbin is the name. So Sonic, you gotta go fast, right? That's the idea. He's also blue. Although Bilgewater maybe is not the best nickname here for Sonic. Okay, so next one is Lab Work. So we have Lab Work before many times already. You get an Ember and you archive a card. So do you have any good targets to archive with this deck?
To be honest, this is a card I didn't use very often. So. I was very unprepared for the tournament.
Sure. Yeah, maybe. How much did you learn about KeyForge before you won this tournament?
I learned the rules at the German Nationals for X-Wing side event, and that was 6 weeks ago, I guess. And then I,
So you
forgot everything and
of course.
Learned the rules. I think 20 or 30 minutes before the first round.
Did you do any kind of research or anything?
No.
What are good decks? What are good factions? No.
All cards were new for me.
Okay.
So I saw the deck and said, okay, sounds interesting, sounds good. I had no idea if this works or not.
Okay, so you haven't picked up which the good targets for lab work are in this one yet. Okay, yeah. So it seems like there's still potential to improve the playing of this game.
In the later games, I used this card to archive.
Yeah.
Some cards we will talk about later,
yeah.
but it was useful for the Ember. So
yeah, I mean it's always a good one, right? Yeah. Okay, Twin Bolt Emission, we saw this multiple times already. This is a very standard doing damage kind of card. It gives you 1 Ember, and it's an action, and it says play, deal 2 damage to a creature, and deal 2 damage to a different creature.
Yeah, that was very useful to kill weaker creatures like Silvertooth or Dust Pixies or other stuff.
Smaller especially the elusive ones I think are really good targets for this one.
Yeah, that's true.
Something that we figured out, we have to watch out because it's a different creature, and if there's just 2 creatures on the board, you have to maybe kill your own creature with that.
Yeah, that's true. But that was a trade I accepted. To kill annoying creatures of the enemy.
I mean, it depends what you have, right? Like if you it really depends if there's really big bad creatures you want to get rid of. Oh, there's 2 Twin Bolt Emissions in here. Okay, so you have a lot of direct damage here. That's good. Wild Wormhole, yeah, of course we saw this multiple times already. 1 Ember and play the top card of your deck.
Yeah, that's a really interesting card, and as I said, I did not prepare, so didn't know this card.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a surprise. Yeah, sometimes it's gonna be some like. I think the best use I had with Wild Wormhole is when we got a neutron shark out of the Wild Wormhole, which killed the entire board state. So that's something that can happen technically. But yeah, you never you never say like I'm not going to play it, right? Okay, so this is the first artifact we have here. This is the Anomaly Exploiter, and it's an item, and you can use an action, destroy a damaged creature.
Especially in the fact that I have a lot of weak creatures, I can attack with my weak creatures a much stronger creature, and then I can finish this creature with the exploiter.
Yeah, also you had like the twin bolt emissions, the two twin bolt emissions. Yeah. They can like do a lot of damage, and then you can like kill them off the rest. Of course, you can use it just once per turn, but it's a really good item to kind of like get rid of a lot of features quickly.
It's a rare card?
No, it's an uncommon card, funny enough. Yeah. Alright, so the next one is going to be Library of Babel. It's another artifact, it's a location, and it says action, draw a card.
So, very helpful.
There's never a turn where you're not going to use this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
when you play Logos, it's very useful, so you always can use it.
Is Logos a house that you would often pick because of this?
Not especially because of this, but to be honest, I chose Logos very often because of some other cards in the deck.
Okay, we're gonna see it in a second. Then we have Dexter, a very standard card from Logos. He's a creature. If you play him, you capture an Ember, and then he's a 3-strength creature, and then if it's destroyed, then you put it back on top of your deck. So it's kind of like a creature that keeps on coming back.
Like me, other players did not prepare very much or very good, so I could surprise them with this card to capture 1 Ember and to prevent the key charge or the key forging. And yeah, it was very helpful. Especially you cannot kill Dexter very easy because he returns to the top of the deck.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, it's a very standard one. He usually combos very well with certain cards in Logos, depending on whether you have those cards or not. Okay, Doc Buckton, so that's a 5-strength creature, again, a very common one. Pretty big, although it doesn't look like it's a big creature. And it has the ability Reap, draw a card. So you have like a second Logos card here that draws your card every turn. You have the library and Doc Buckton, you could draw 2 cards.
Yeah, pretty fine. It's one of the. It should be the most. The creature with the highest power level. With
5 is pretty big, right?
Yeah, for this deck. It's the biggest one. One of the biggest creatures.
Okay, well, I think there's a bigger one that could be bigger.
One that could be bigger, but
we're gonna get to that second. Okay, Ganymed Archivist, again, like a very standard Logos creature, 3-strength. And when he reaps, you archive a card. Again, an archive mechanic is something that you have to figure out what you want to be actually archiving there. 3-strength is also not extraordinary. Mother. Oh, that's Gerion's favorite. One of Gerion's favorite cards. So this is 5-strength. It's a weird robot thing, and during your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. So you always draw 1 more card when you refill. Wait a minute, that means that you always basically draw a card, even if you wouldn't be drawing a card, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I guess that this makes the deck a little bit faster because you have more cards to play, and it's all. I guess I think that strength of 5 is good.
Yeah, it's again one of the beefier creatures that you have probably in this deck, right? Yeah.
So this the mother was often one of the main targets of my opponents.
Yeah, you kind of want to get rid of it because the acceleration is insane. You cannot leave it on the board for too long. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a rare creature that I haven't seen before. So this is Osmo Martianologist, and he's elusive. So you have to attack him twice to deal any damage. The first time he doesn't receive any damage, and he has Fight or Reap. Heal 3 damage from a Mars creature or stun a Mars creature. That's the one that you weren't sure about what he does in here, right?
Yeah, it's I played against one deck with Mars cards inside, so there wasn't the situation to use the ability to fight a Reaper to heal 3 damage or stun a creature from Mars. So it was a creature for reaping the Ember, and that's it.
Yeah. I think so. You got to play against Mars for him to make any sense, and otherwise he's like an underwhelming creature with elusive, right? Okay, so now we're moving on to shadows, and already you can see, because usually the bait and switch is the first card that comes up because it starts with a B, but now we start with G already, so we already can tell that this deck doesn't have a bait and switch.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people said you need bait and switch for a competitive deck, but clearly you can do without very well. Instead, what we have here is Ghostly Hand that gives you 2 Ember, and if your opponent has exactly 1 Ember, you steal it. So you can potentially get up to 3 Ember, up to 4 Ember swing. So
this happened very often. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you can steal a lot of things, you can often like steer your opponent towards 1 Ember and then follow it up with this one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just 1 in this deck though. So the second one is going to be Relentless Whisper, another direct damage kind of action. Gives you an Ember and then deals 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, you steal 1 additional Ember.
Yeah, happened very often as well. I dealt 2 damage to weaker creatures like Dust Pixies and the smaller ones. So yeah, this is a really useful card to get Ember very fast.
Yeah, it seems like we already see kind of like a theme there, because you had the Twin Bolt emissions in Logos, and you had the Anomaly Exploiter as well, which I think this works very well with those kind of cards. Of course, if you kill the creature, then the Anomaly Exploiter won't be triggering anymore, but at least it's direct damage, and that's fine. Okay, so this is now going to be, this is an interesting one. This is a rare, and we actually have 2 of those in here. So this is Routine Job. Steal 1 Ember, then steal 1 Ember for each copy of Routine Job in your discard pile.
That's a very annoying card for my enemies. So that wasn't a very annoying card. Because I let my opponents do the job, and then came my routine job, and I stole the Ember.
Yeah. How does it work? So you steal 1 Ember, and then so there's 2 routine jobs. So when there's a second routine job, you steal 2 Ember, right? When you play the second for a second time. Yeah. The first one steals 1, and the second one steals 2, right? Because the card lands in the discard pile after the effect has triggered, right? Yeah. Okay, just 2 in here. I mean, so this is kind of like we're discussing this. So this is interesting because you have like 2 of those rares. So you have to assume that whenever you get a routine job, the random number generator, the algorithm kind of makes sure that you have at least 2 copies, right?
Would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, because then otherwise this would be kind of like an underwhelming rare. Okay, so this is now too much to protect. We already had this before. You get an Ember, and then steal all but 6 of your opponent's Ember.
Very nasty.
This is the card that I think you liked, right?
Yeah, this definitely, because I guess, if I remember right, one opponent had 11 Ember, and yeah, I had the hand that at first I played too much to protect. Then I played my 2 routine jobs, and yeah, it was very helpful.
So he was down to like what, 3 Ember?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 Ember, right?
Yeah, should.
Yeah. And we noticed that too. That too much to protect often is a lot more powerful than bait and switch, because you often have like 1 steal, like an urchin on hand or something. And so you can easily, with too much protect, you can easily stop opponent from forging, right? And so that can be incredibly powerful and can slow them down immensely. And also you get all the Ember as well. So we have 2 of those as well, so that's really, really great.
And the positive is you steal a lot of Ember and you get 1 by the card.
Additionally as well. Yeah. So it's a really, really big swing. Yeah. And then finally, well, not finally, there's still more to go. So this is now the customs office. It's an artifact. And it says your opponent must pay 1 Ember in order to play an artifact.
So I had this card on my start hand 3 times, and that was the first card I played when I was a start player. I had 2 opponents with artifact decks.
And they probably really hated you for that.
They could not play the artifacts.
Yes, they have to pay, so it's kind of like to steal an ember from them, basically. Yeah. And they cannot play an artifact if you can't pay them.
Yeah, they had artifact on their hand and couldn't play it because they had no ember at the start. So,
that sounds very annoying. The card features some really nice artwork. There's like this purple dude in here, and we heard this purple dude might be appearing in the future as well. He seems special. I think this purple dude is up to no good. He has like this face of a really nasty person. Yeah, I love him. Okay. So now we have Moon Cursor. We actually have 2 Moon Cursors. 1 strength creature. It has skirmish and poison, and fight, steal 1 ember. Skirmish means it does damage. It doesn't get any damage in return, right? Yeah. When you attack with him.
While attacking, you don't get any damage, right? And with poison, you kill immediately.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, it is. I have a lot of weak creatures, but in this case it makes a difference when I attack. I don't get any damage and kill. Even
you can attack a huge
mushroom mans with power of 11 or something. So it's
it's no problem. Yeah, and you have 2 of them as well, which I really love.
And steal ember. So it's
the only problem is like very vulnerable to direct damage, right? Like with just one damage, even like something like a fire spitter can just like clean them up easily.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of an issue. But otherwise, incredibly strong can get rid of any creature on the board. So that's really good. We have the silver tooth here. Actually, we have 2 silver tooths.
Very good. Makes the game very fast. I could play them. I could reap immediately to get ember.
2 silver tooth is pretty good.
I think that I had 2 silver tooth on my hand a few times, so I could play both, get 2 ember or kill weaker creatures like what wasn't like dust pixies or that's pretty good.
Alright, so now we have I think the only upgrade in this deck, which is going to be Silent Dagger. We had this guy before already a lot of times. So this guy, this is an upgrade that gives the creature Reap, deal 4 damage to a flank creature.
Especially very good with Silver Tooth. I played Silver Tooth and I put an upgrade on it, and then I could attack. Reap. If we did not play it wrong.
No, you could when you play it, you can reap it, especially if it's silver tooth. Put it on silver tooth, and you can use it immediately, right?
Yeah, I played it, and then I played the dagger on it, and then I reaped, got ember for reaping, and then used the ability to deal 4 damage to a flank creature.
Yeah, it's great. Something you have to keep in mind: it's a flank creature. Something I didn't notice the first time around. So you have to make sure that. That the creature is on the outside and not in the center somewhere. Alright, so now we move on to the untamed creatures, or untamed cards. So this is cooperative hunting. It's an action. It says play, deal 1 damage for each friendly creature in play. You may divide this damage among any number of creatures. I already see. I can now understand how this works. Yes.
When I had 5 or 6 creatures, I dealt 1 damage for each creature. Yeah. Or killed 1 when it was necessary.
Yeah. But, very flexible, right? Yeah. And also, again, we saw stuff like the Anomaly Exploiter, which is great for this. You distribute the creature everywhere, and then remove it. Yeah, that seems like the deck is coming together here. All right, so this is going to be key charge. I think we had this once before, at least I saw it before. So this is an action and says play, lose 1 ember. If you do, you may forge a key at current cost.
I would say that this is the most important card in this deck, because if I could steal so many ember by too much to protect and routine job and other cards, it's very helpful to
be able to forge it.
Before the opponent can steal as well. So
I guess the only problem is you have to like switch from shadows to untamed. So there's like at least one turn in between there.
Yeah.
But if you manage to pull it off, then maybe you forge like a key in between, and then you follow it up with a last key.
I have a lot of untamed cards with raw ember.
So sometimes you manage to forge a key in the untamed turn.
Yeah,
sweet. All right, this is going to be Lost in the Woods. We already had this before as well. You get 1 ember, choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures. Shuffle each chosen creature into its owner's deck.
Yeah, very good, very helpful to remove creatures like Mother or some Sanctum creatures, to shuffle them in the opponent's deck.
Yeah, the only problem is that you have to get them back, but I guess you could play it on... Actually, that's might be good, because if you put it on creatures that do something great when you play them, with Untamed, you're going to see, I think, some in the future. That means you will actually get extra bonus. You can get the play ability.
I removed my deck.
Although you have to shuffle them in your deck. You have to keep in mind, you have to shuffle them in your deck, so you don't get them on your hand, right?
Yeah. But sometimes you have just a few cards remaining, and if I shuffle Dust Pixie in a deck with only 4 cards remaining, I know what's going to happen in the next round.
So that's something I also noticed. With those kind of cards, it's often like waiting for the right moment in the deck might be meaningful.
That is a card I archived sometimes.
Ah, okay, yeah, because that makes sense. Yeah. Because you want to wait for the right moment for this to happen. Especially because it's 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures, so you want to make sure that there's actually creatures on the board for this to work out. Right?
Sometimes I played it when I had no creatures, no own creatures.
Yeah, of course.
To remove 2 enemy creatures. Put them in.
Kind of like board removal, so to speak. Yeah. There's 2 of them in here. Yeah. Okay, never mind. And then regrowth, 1 ember.
Yeah.
We already had. We called him the turd. Because if you squint your eyes and you don't really look at the bare face, it kind of looks like a turd. So this returns a creature from your discard pile to your hand.
Very helpful. I can explain later what kind of creatures I return with regrowth to my hands.
Okay. This is very flexible. We noticed that this can be the keystone to a lot of like really nasty combos, especially in Untamed. You can get a lot of ember with that.
And that is another card I archived, and with the cooperative hunting, as I said, I dealt damage to 5 or 4, 5, 6 different creatures, and then I played Save the Pack, and I got 1 chain, but destroyed all the...
Yeah, it's kind of like very similar again to the Anomaly Exploiter that you get in the Logos pack. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like just huge, really huge. So it seems like you really want to distribute a little bit of damage everywhere, and then remove the creatures. Interesting, fascinating, very efficient creature removal, so to speak. And then this is 1 ember action. I haven't seen this a lot. It's called Vigor, and it says play, heal up to 3 damage from a creature. If you heal 3 damage, gain 1 ember. Yeah. So you can get potentially 2 ember from this and heal 3 damage.
Sometimes I use this on enemy creatures. Oh, you guys 3 damage. Oh, let me help you here. Give me let's get some.
How nice of you.
Yeah.
How nice of you.
Sometimes I can be nice. And again, so it's
it's great. Oh, there's 2-1. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's really amazing. Okay, so I think this is one of the creatures that you would get back with regrowth, right?
Yeah.
So this Dust Pixie, it just gets
Dust Pixie or the last card in the deck, but Dust Pixie is one candidate for regrowth.
Yeah, very. Yeah, if you played it and then attack with it, get it killed, and then regrowth.
Oh no, it's dead. Oh.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you can do it like on that same turn. Somehow deal 1 damage somehow, you know, and then replay it immediately. You know. Okay, so this could be the biggest creature in this deck, depending on how it goes. So this is Mushroom Man. He is 2 strength, and Mushroom Man gets +3 power for each unforged key you have.
Yeah.
So at the beginning he is 11.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty good starting hand creature, I would say, right?
Yep. Definitely. But yeah, it's getting weaker when you forge the keys. So
yeah, but I guess like in the end game you're gunning for just getting enough ember to win anyway. So he's big when he needs to be big.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I really like this guy. Also, he looks so funny. Okay, so now we have Niffle Ape, and Niffle Ape is again a very common creature in Untamed. 3 strength, and while Niffle Ape is attacking, ignore Taunt and Elusive.
I didn't face any creature with Taunt in the whole tournament.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
And
I mean, we haven't seen any.
A lot of elusive creatures from the Shadow faction. But yeah. To be honest, not a creature I definitely must play.
Yeah, it's just like a very standard vanilla kind of creature.
And now we come to my
your favorite card. The favorite creature. This is what do you think is going to be the favorite creature of this deck? Of course, it's Witch of the Eye.
I would say that this card, it's definitely the best card in the whole deck.
Yeah.
It won. I would say it won a lot of rounds of the best of 3s because my opponents did not kill her. And then okay, let's do some fancy stuff. I reaped with the Witch of the Eye. Then I took key charge.
Oh, key charge. Okay.
Key charge or a dust pixie or a regrowth and dust pixie for 3 ember because it's a
right, regrowth pixie and ember.
That's definitely a very powerful card, and I was very happy when my opponents did not kill her immediately because you can make so much fancy stuff, and definitely my favorite card in this deck.
Yeah, very very flexible. If you can somehow make her last, it's incredibly strong. And so the funny thing is, like your shadows list doesn't actually include any tricks to make her last. It's just like sometimes people just don't have the right creature to do it, to pull it off. Maybe they have like a 2-strength creature or something, or they don't want to sacrifice a 3-strength creature, or they want to like actually play a different house because they have so many cards with that house on the hand, so they cannot attack with the creatures they have. So if she can stick around for a turn or 2, she can do so much damage. It's and we already saw like, so if you can go through some combos that I noticed, maybe you can like so I think like if you do something like this, right? Like these are kind of like your creatures that would recur a lot of things.
Yeah.
And allow you to generate like a lot of ember, which is not like really unusual. Like a lot of Untamed have like these kind of combos, so that's fine. Okay, so anything else that you want me to because something I also noticed is of course that these kind of like work very well together because you can distribute a lot of like damage, individual damage points, especially corporate hunting. You can be very flexible, and you can kill an off with an anomaly explorer. Or exploiter, it's not explorer, or of course a saved attack also helps here, right? So you can get remove creatures in like a very efficient kind of way without actually having to compete with them in strength, just like a little bit of damage and then removing them, right? And I would say also Moon Cursor fits into that kind of profile, right? Because he also is not really strong creature, but just 1 damage is enough to get rid of any threat that you have.
That's true.
Okay,
so I would say that to this deck, I let the opponents do all the work with farming the ember.
Yes,
and then I took it with different cards,
like too much to protect, which you have 2 of.
Routine job, which I have 2 times. So and Moon Cursor with the steel ability.
So you kind of like just let the opponents collect a lot of money, stole the money, or if they didn't do it, then you just used Untamed for some kind of power turn.
Yeah.
If they had some kind of creatures, you remove them with some logos or Untamed direct damage kind of stuff. So we're gonna try to show you the deck list. We're gonna make sure that people don't see the QR code. So this is the deck list. Yeah, there we go. So I really wanted to go through this deck list because I know what you think about this, because again we already talked about this a little bit. People think that there's like so many like power cards that every deck has to have, every competitive deck has to have. So I was like really eager to see a winning deck. I thoroughly expected that a deck that would win on this tournament would have some crazy combo, something like some completely broken, you know, like pull all of your cards on your hand and then play everything. You know, we had like speculations about this, but this is a very normal deck. There is nothing special about this. Like if I pulled this, I wouldn't be necessarily thinking that, oh man, this will win me the tournament, right? There's nothing outstanding about this.
So I'm not an expert in card games. To be honest, it's my second.
Well, you play X-Wing, and it has some cards, right?
Usually I play X-Wing, but it's more with miniatures. So it's and I definitely not know if or didn't know what I should do with the cards. I didn't see the strategy about it. So okay, steal some cards. I have some weak creatures with poison or something. But I almost lost my first round versus a very talented young man from France.
12-year-old, right?
12 years, I guess it was 12, and it was very close, and I said, okay, the first round was very tough, and let's see what's going to happen next. But then I
just roll over your opponent.
I think my third opponent was German champion in Netrunner. The next one was,
you played against Axel,
and then a German Warhammer Conquest champion. I said, okay. I'm new in this game and I'm new in card games, so let's see. and then
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I mean. Obviously, we have to also admit that there might have been some luck involved as well. You have to be lucky and win this kind of game, of course. If you have bad luck, there's just you cannot win this. But also, I think another takeaway is like don't trust all the Metacritic, the meta analyzers. I think not at least not yet. We all are not really familiar with this game, and I think even average looking decks like this one can be incredibly strong, can turn out to be incredibly strong depending on how the cards work together, what are your strategies for.
And that's the reason why I like to play KeyForge, and I will continue playing KeyForge. I tried to play Star Wars Destiny, and like other trading card games, you have some cards everyone wants to have, and you know that most decks will include these cards, and I like that you cannot build any decks in KeyForge. You have to play with the cards you get, and that's why I like this game.
Yeah, so not everybody is playing the same deck, right? Because you have to play what you get, and sometimes what you get doesn't look so exciting at first, but turns out to be incredibly strong. So that's going to be our video. So if you guys have noticed anything in this deck list, if you found any combos that we haven't talked about, then let us know in the comment section. We definitely appreciate. And otherwise, like the takeaway is, I guess, like don't underestimate your decks, even if they don't have the power cards that everybody's excited about. That doesn't mean that they cannot be successful like this one. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kevin, and congratulations to winning the tournament.
Thank you very much.
And so see you next time, guys. Bye bye.